Somewhere in Crescent City, far beneath the cracked sidewalks and forgotten tunnels, a basement festered in silence. The air was thick with mildew and rot, heavy with centuries of dust. At the center of the stone chamber sat a coffin, iron-bound, blackened by age, its lid etched with strange carvings that pulsed faintly in the dark. Inside, a woman stirred. Her skin was pale as moonlight, stretched over sharp bones. Her hair fell in dark curls matted with age, but her beauty was undeniable, haunting, ageless. She had been sleeping for so long, the world above had nearly forgotten her. But tonight, as the blood moon rose over Crescent City, her eyes snapped open. They were red, burning, hungry. Her name once had been Isolde, though no one living knew it now. Born in the early 1800s in the Deep South, she had been the daughter of a plantation master and one of the women he enslaved. Mixed blood, neither fully accepted by the white world nor fully belonging to the enslaved. She lived a life in chains, her beauty both a curse and a weapon against her. But death had not claimed her as it did so many others. One night, a wandering European noble, something far more monstrous than man, had found her. He saw her rage, her hunger for freedom, and instead of killing her, he remade her, turned her into a creature of the night, a vampire. She embraced the darkness because it gave her what life had stolen, power. No more chains, no more. For centuries, she hunted. Fedora watched the world change, but her hunger grew too great, her wrath too loud. The spirits of the enslaved cursed her, bound her, and entombed her deep beneath Crescent City with holy salt, iron, and blood magic. But time weakens even the strongest chains. And now, as darkness spread again through Crescent City, her prison cracked. She rose from her coffin with a hiss, her fangs gleaming in the dim candlelight. The floorboards groaned under her bare feet as she stepped into the world again, her hunger gnawing like fire. Crescent City, she whispered, a voice silk and thunder. So much has changed, so much to take back. She remembered her chains, she remembered the lash, she remembered her rage, and now she wanted the city, all of it. The spirits whispered of a stirring beneath the city, of something old, something dangerous, something even they feared. She stood on the rooftop of her center, looking out across the skyline, the night thick with tension. Her grandmother's voice came to her again. Not all spirits are of the light, child. Some drink the blood, some walk in shadows deeper than night. She is awake. Pimptress clenched her fists, her aura flaring with golden fire. She had just defeated Zara la Nuit and her dark spirits. But this was something older, stronger, hungrier. The ancestors had chosen Pimptress to defend Crescent City, but how do you fight an immortal who was forged in slavery and rage, a woman who had every reason to despise the living world and the power to devour it all? A girl here, a girl there, found slumped over in the backseat of a car, head tilted to the side, eyes wide open as if staring at something no one else could see. Bite marks carved into the soft of their neck, their bodies pale, empty, like every drop of life had been pulled from them. These weren't overdoses, that they weren't accidents, they were drainings. The streets buzzed with fear. The old heads shook their heads, muttering about curses from the bayou, about the kind of dark thing that no bullet could stop. Pimps started losing girls, and the ones still breathing were too terrified to work. They called it the Red Sickness, but Pimptress knew better. One night, Pimptress found herself standing by a dented Crown Vic, parked outside a neon-lit strip motel. The door hung open, the radio still whispering a slow blues track, the air heavy with the stink of blood. Inside, another body, a young woman, no more than 20, with gold hoop earrings still dangling in her ears. Pimptress touched the girl's wrist. Cold, empty, gone. She closed her eyes, whispering a prayer in the old tongue, asking her spirit guides to carry the girl's soul safely across. As she did, she felt it, a dark energy trailing through the night, lingering like smoke after fire. Something old, something hungry, something that didn't belong. That night, as Pimptress walked the streets, she could hear the whispers of the ancestors, louder than ever. The coffin is open. The Blood Queen walks again. Isolde was no longer hiding. She was feeding, picking off the vulnerable, the lost, the forgotten, the very people Pimptress had sworn to protect. The next morning, the headlines hit. Women found, drained in abandoned cars. Crescent City police baffled. The cops blamed drugs. The politicians blamed the streets. The people blamed bad luck. But Pimptress knew the truth. There was a new predator in Crescent City, and she wasn't hunting money. She was hunting blood. Pimptress stood on a rooftop that night, staring at the skyline. The moon hung low, red and swollen, like a warning. Somewhere in the shadows, Isolde was watching, feeding, growing stronger, with each body left behind. And Pimptress whispered to herself, a voice like steel. If she wants to hunt this city, then she gonna have to come through me. The first turn-ins, her first followers were her victims. Not all of them died when she fed. Some she allowed to linger on the edge of death, whispering promises of freedom, of power, of vengeance. She offered them the same gift she had been given in the 1800s, immortality, though at a cost. The city began to fear the night in ways it never had before. Even the hardest hustlers refused to walk alone. The return of the Blood Queen. From the shadows, Isolde revealed herself, dressed in crimson gowns stitched from centuries-old lace. Draped in gold jewelry stolen from masters who once chained her, she walked the streets like royalty reborn. Her eyes glowed, her voice hypnotic. And slowly, people began to bend the knee, not because they loved her, but because they feared her. Spiritual tension. The spirits that guided Pimptress grew restless. They whispered warnings. She is building an army. Her hunger will not stop at blood. She seeks the city's soul. Pimptress could feel it. The balance between the living and the dead was cracking. Isolde wasn't just raising a cord, she was preparing for a conquest. To turn Crescent City into her eternal feeding ground, where the living would exist only to serve her thirst. The coming clash. Pimptress knew the time was coming when she would have to face Isolde directly. But this wasn't just a battle between two women. It was a war between two queens. One carrying the fire of her ancestors, sworn to protect the broken. The other, a queen born of slavery and rage, turning her pain into eternal hunger. And when they finally meet, Crescent City will tremble between light and blood. The bass thumped like a heartbeat inside the Velvet Chapel, one of Crescent City's most infamous underground clubs. Red lights bathed the room in a constant glow, and the smell of sweat, smoke, and iron hung heavy in the air. But it wasn't the music that kept the crowd moving, it was her. On the stage, in a gown the color of spilled wine, Isolde sat upon a velvet throne. Her hair spilled in curls down her shoulders, her skin glowing with an unnatural radiance. Her crimson court stood guard in the shadows, pale men in designer suits, women in gowns, sharp as blades, eyes glowing faintly red as they scanned the crowd. Anyone who entered became part of her spectacle, food, worshipper, or servant. And then the music cut. The doors slammed open. She walked in with heels clicking against the marble floor, a black cape flowing behind her like a storm cloud. Her eyes burned with the light of the ancestors. Pimptress, gasps, swept through the crowd. Some backed away instantly, others froze in awe. Everyone in Crescent City had heard the whispers, the woman who haunted abusers, the shadow queen who walked with spirits. Now she stood face to face with the Blood Queen. Ah, the city's little savior finally shows herself. Pimptress tilted her head unfazed. And the city's biggest parasite finally crawls out of her coffin. The crowd murmured, half terrified, half electrified. You and I are not so different. Queens of the forgotten, we rule what the rest of the city throws away. She circled Pimptress like a serpent. But you waste your gift on protecting them, feeding them hope, when you could feed on them instead. Pimptress's jaw clenched. The spirits roared in her ears, a chorus of warning. I don't feed on my people, she snapped. I fight for them. Isolde's laugh rang out, cold and haunting. Fight for them? They are nothing but cattle, broken toys left in the gutter. And soon, they will all kneel to me. With a snap of her fingers, two of her vampire guards lunged forward. Their fangs flashed in the crimson light, only to be met by a burst of white fire erupting from Pimptress's palms. The spirits surged through her, and the guards were thrown across the room, hissing as their suits smoked and their flesh burned. The crowd screamed. Some tried to flee, but Isolde lifted her hand, and the doors slammed shut with a thunderous boom. A court hissed and snarled, encircling Pimptress. But Pimptress didn't flinch. She stepped forward, fire dancing around her fists, her voice echoing with the power of her ancestors. This city already has a queen, and she don't drink blood. The club vibrated with the tension of a war promised but not yet begun. Finally, Isolde leaned close, whispering so only Pimptress could hear. Then be ready, Spirit Queen. The night is mine, and soon your people will be too. Pimptress didn't move. Her reply came low, steady, and final. Not while I'm breathing. The two queens locked eyes one last time before Pimptress turned and walked out, her heels echoing against the floor. The crowd parted for her like water, every soul knowing they had just witnessed the beginning of something Crescent City would never forget. Pimptress learns to channel her spirit fire into weapons, burning whips, protective shields, and explosive strikes. She discovers she can summon ancestral warriors for brief moments in battle, calling on the strength of those who fought before her. Her presence alone begins to inspire hope in the streets. People leave offerings for her, whispering her name as protection. The city torn in two, territory wars. Crescent City becomes divided, Isolde's crimson zones, nightclubs, brothels, mansions with blacked out windows, where blood runs like wine. Pimptress sanctuaries, safe houses, churches, and Eden community centers guarded by spirit wards. Citizens begin choosing sides out of fear of Isolde or out of faith in Pimptress. The escalating signs. The moon begins turning red more often. The dead rise in whispers at cemeteries. Animals vanish from the city. The prophecy. Pimptress learns that a final battle with Isolde must happen under the blood moon, an event that comes once every century. If Isolde feeds during the blood moon, she will ascend into something far worse, a blood goddess, unkillable and eternal. If Pimptress can stop her, she will not only save Crescent City, but restore balance between the living and the dead. Final stage before the showdown. Isolde's court throws a grand masquerade ball, half decadent party, half feeding frenzy, where she plans to complete the blood moon ritual. Pimptress Totem, Spirit Corps prepares the strongest protections, invoking the loa and carrying ancestral relics into battle. Both sides know, after the ball, only one queen will remain. So the build-up becomes a war for Crescent City's soul. Isolde, feeding on fear, building a vampiric empire of blood. Pimptress, drawing strength from her ancestors and the community, becoming a spirit of hope and vengeance. Two women, it'll be a clash of legacies. Setting, location, the Delacroix estate, an abandoned 19th century plantation, mansion on the edge of Crescent City. Restored by Isolde's crimson court, its ballroom glitters with chandeliers, crimson drapes, and mirrors polished so sharp they reflect like pools of blood. Guests, a mix of humans, politicians, celebrities, gangsters, entranced by Isolde's allure, and vampires dressed in lavish gowns and masks. Isolde descends the grand staircase in a gown the color of blood. The crowd bows, some willingly, others spellbound. She radiates command, beauty, terror. The ritual hidden in plain sight. The ball is not just a party. It's the opening act of the blood moon ritual. At midnight, when the moon reaches its peak, she intends to sacrifice a chosen group of humans in a blood rite that will seal her transformation into a blood goddess. A black altar is hidden in the ballroom, covered by silk, waiting to be unveiled. Declaration of Dominion. In a speech, she calls herself the true queen of Crescent City. She mocks the false guardian, Pimptress, declaring that the city must embrace eternal night or be consumed. Pimptress and her spirit court slip into the masquerade, dressed as masked revelers, her presence cloaked from Isolde's senses. Pimptress feels the weight of the ancestors in the air. They hate this place, the old mansion dripping with blood history from slavery days. Their voices press at her ears. Burn it down, burn it all. She holds her fire back, for now, waiting for the exact moment. One of Isolde's lieutenants, a turned politician or gang boss, senses something's off. He prowls near Pimptress, testing her disguise. The tension builds as she narrowly avoids being exposed. As the clock nears midnight, Isolde orders the black silk pulled away, revealing the altar, a slab of obsidian etched with ancient runes. Rises. The chandeliers flicker, the sky outside stains red, and the ballroom begins to quake with unnatural energy. Shadows crawl across the walls like living serpents, feeding into Isolde's body as she prepares for her ascension. Isolde sneers. "Aso, the spirit queen dares step into my temple." Pimptress answers, "Your temple's about to burn." The chandeliers rattle as the two forces lock eyes, their powers vibrating the entire estate. Isolde unleashes a wave of shadow energy, dark tendrils sweeping across the ballroom. Pimptress counters with a shield of white ancestral fire protecting the captives. The masquerade erupts into chaos. As Isolde and Pimptress clash, the masquerade shatters. Vampires reveal their fangs, descending on fleeing humans. The chandeliers crash to the floor, catching fire in Pimptress's spirit flames. The ballroom transforms into chaos. Silk curtains ignite, mirrors crack, and blood spills across marble. Isolde gains the upper hand, pinning Pimptress against the altar, fangs bared. Pimptress lets the spirits fully possess her. Her eyes glow pure white. Her voice becomes a chorus. With the whip of fire blazing, she strikes the altar itself. The obsidian cracks, exploding in white light. The ritual collapses. Isolde screams as the light consumes her. Her body disintegrates into ash, her gown crumbling into nothingness. The estate is burning, collapsing into ruins. Pimptress, battered but standing, leads survivors outside as the blood moon fades. As the mansion collapses into fire and ash, Pimptress whispers, "The city's safe tonight, but there's always another night." Smoke rolls across the hill where the Delacroix estate once stood. The fire's glow flickers in the distance, painting the night sky a deep crimson. Police sirens wail faintly somewhere far below, too late to matter. The mansion groaned as the last of its blackened pillars gave way. Flames licked at broken portraits and shattered chandeliers, consuming the ghosts of centuries past. Pimptress stood amid the wreckage, her coat torn, spirit fire dimming to embers around her hands. The night air tasted like iron and smoke. Behind her, the survivors stumbled from the ruins, guided by the glow of her light. The spirit court gathered silently, their faces marked with blood, ash, and victory. Pimptress turned back one last time, watching the estate collapse into itself, a tomb for Isolde's darkness and a warning to whatever evil dared rise next. The wind whispered through the ashes, carrying the faint echo of drums, ancestral, eternal. She knows it's not over, not while greed, blood, and spirit still battle for the soul of Crescent City. Behind her, the ruins tremble. A faint ember flares among the ashes. A single drop of blood slides down a cracked stone and vanishes. Pimptress looks back once, sensing it. Her jaw tightens. Then she steps into the fog, her silhouette swallowed by the night. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed writing it and making the video for it. And there will be more coming from the series. It would help so much if you would like and subscribe. You all have a blessed day.